So today I have a super fun video that is actually an original tag from me. So hey, editing Casey from the future. There is actually a wine book tag that, my hair looks super cute. Anyway, there is actually a wine book tag out there in the universe, but it is from 2015 and it is from Boho Bookworm. The questions are not exactly the same, so I'm gonna put semi-original on this because it's not quite original totally, but it's a little twist on what she already did, which is kind of a bummer because I was really excited to be like the first one, but oh well. Anyway, enjoy the video. I'm so excited. I was scrolling through Google to try and find a wine for me to put in my mom fuel mug because it's just me tonight. And I stumbled across this picture that I'll put up on the screen for you all to see, but it has like the different kinds of wine like as the people who drink them. And I thought this would be so much fun to equate that to like books. So with my wine in hand, let's get started. For all of you all that are curious, I'm drinking Blackberry Merlot because I'm a little old woman. Okay, so the first one is actually kind of ironic because I don't know if I pronounce this correctly, but it is Cabernet. And the thing says Cab is the only wine that you are confidently able to pronounce. This one I'm equating to like a popular book that literally everyone has read. And for this one, my answer is Strange the Dreamer because I feel like there for a little while, literally everyone was talking about this book. And with good reasons. It's amazing and it's just very lyrical and magical and kind of like Cabernet is pretty much suitable for a lot of people. The next one is Chardonnay and the picture says you're turning into your mother. This one I equated as, is there a book on your shelf that you think your mom would read? There are a bunch of books on here that I think my mom would read, but she doesn't really read that much just because she doesn't have that much free time. But literally my entire Stephen King shelf, I do believe my mom has read quite a few of his books. I know she hasn't read all of them, but I know there's plenty for me to choose from. The next one is Chardonnay with an ice cube, which says you have become your mother. And this one is a book that you actually have read that your mother has also read. So I know this is gonna sound super weird, but my mom and I have actually both read this book, and that is City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. I read it in high school, and then very shortly after my mom read it, and we both absolutely loved it. So, I mean, I basically am my mom, so that wasn't too hard of a question to answer. The next one is Riesling, I think. If I pronounce any of these wrong, I'm so sorry. I'm not up to date on my wines. I just drink them and enjoy them. But this one says, yes, we know you spent that one summer in Germany. So for this one, I'm going to kind of put the category as a book that is set in a country that is not your own. And for this one, I think I'm actually going to say that the US and like North America don't count. So I have to find somewhere where it does not take place in North America. And for this, I'm gonna go with The Bat by Jo Nesbø. This is in Oslo, which I think is in Norway, I'm fairly certain. So this is definitely not in North America. I have not read this book yet, but it is a thriller and I am very excited to get into it. The next one is Merlot, which I guess this one's me because that's what I'm drinking. And that is You Still Take Your Steaks Very Much Alive. Which, I mean, I eat my steaks medium rare, so I don't know. If that's something that you all disagree about, tell me down in the comments below. It's a silly question, but I'd like to know. And for this one, I think I kind of put it as like a book that you've read that you still think about a lot because it's still alive in your mind. And for that, I would literally just say the entire Deanna Rayburn, the Veronica Speedwell series. Like, I think about these books all the time. I love them. They're very endearing and near to my heart, so if you all have not read these books, you absolutely have to. The next one is Rosé, and it's you're under 21 or at least you want to look like it. And for that, I'm kind of saying like, what is a good middle grade book that you like? For this, I'm gonna go with the entire Charlie Bones series. I loved these in middle school. These were fantastic. I flew through them. I remember my childhood librarian letting me check out all of these all at the same time, and I pretty much devoured them. Like, they were so good. The next one is Pinot Grigio, and that is, you have a terrible Italian accent and you very much enjoy using it. This is a book that you did not like, but everybody else seems to really love. Okay, so for this one, I feel like I'm actually gonna get a little bit of hate. I'm gonna say The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. I don't really like Maggie Stiefvater's writing style, I'm sorry, but it is a book that I just could not, or a series that I just could not get into. I don't know why. It just did not gel with me. So unfortunately, it's not my fave. The next one is Pinot Noir, which I personally kind of like, but it says you only ordered this one because you thought you were ordering the other Pinot. And for this, it's a book that you thought you would love, but just kind of underwhelmed you with a little bit of disappointment. And for that, I'll be picking Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. I liked this book. I still gave it 3 stars, but it just was not what I thought it was gonna be, and it was very underwhelming for me. The next one is Chianti, which I literally have only heard of because of Silence of the Lambs, I'm fairly certain. And it is You Love All You Can Eat Breadsticks. And this one I'm gonna say is a series that has a ton of books in it, or an author that has a ton of books that you will always pick up. For me, I feel like this is kind of a no-brainer. Sarah J. Maas. She is an author that doesn't matter what she writes, I will probably pick it up at some point. Except for the Catwoman book, I may not pick that up because I'm not really a big fan of superheroes, but literally anything else, you got me. The next one is Port, and it says you sometimes drink syrup. So I'm gonna assume that port is pretty sweet. I've never actually had it, but from that description, I really don't think I want to. And for this, I'm going to put it as an OTP that was just so cute. You couldn't stand it. Like, you got a cavity of how sweet they were. So this is actually the second time that this book or this series has been mentioned, but Veronica and her love interest, just the way they interact with each other is just so cute, and I love it. And I wish Alan and I bantered the way they do. I'm just kidding, we totally do. But they are just the sweetest couple. Next one is Malt Wine, and it says you're not afraid to drinking things out of brown paper bags. This is a book or series that you read that is kind of a guilty pleasure, but you're not ashamed to admit it. And for this, I'm actually gonna say the Selection series by Kiera Cass, because I feel like a lot of people, like, if you say that you like this series now, they're like, oh, how could you? Like, that's for children and it's stupid. But I totally loved this series. I read all 3 of the main trilogy. Like, I'm not gonna talk about any of the others because the others are not worth my time. But I read these within, like, I think 2 weeks of each other, and I loved them, and just the story sucked me in, and I loved it so much. The next one is Shiraz. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that one correctly. I probably am not, but it says you think Australians have a sexy accent, and this one's pretty simple. It's a sexy book. And for this, I'm going to say The Girl in 6E by A.R. Tor, because this is a very sexy book, but I loved it. Absolutely amazing. Definitely if you are over the age of like 16 or 17, I would say you could probably read this, but if you're much younger, like, definitely not. The next one is kind of calling me out too, because this wine was like $5, but it's under $10, or you pick your wine by how cute the bottle is. And this is a cover buy. So something that you had no clue what it was about, but you bought it because of the cover and because it was beautiful or cute or just caught your eye. For this one, I'm actually gonna say Fury Born by Claire Legrand. I had little to no idea about what this book was, but I kept seeing the cover everywhere and it just looked absolutely gorgeous. I had to get my hands on it. The next one is Boxed Wine, which I don't think I've ever had an experience with, but I am not above trying it. And it says, you say that you drink wine so infrequently that you don't want it to spoil, but you actually drink it so frequently that you need wine on tap. And that is to pick a genre that you read pretty much all the time. My shelves are pretty much like in the 2 genres that I read the most of, because I'm pretty picky, and that is fantasy and thrillers. That's pretty much all I read, so those are definitely my boxed wines, I guess. So I hope you all enjoyed this. I really had a lot of fun coming up with the cues and like the ideas for this. I also really like drinking wine, and it's a good excuse to do both. If you do this, please tag me on Instagram or Twitter, or like send me an email saying that you did my tag. I hope that it's fun and hilarious for you all like it was for me. Oh, I almost forgot. Okay, so I also need to tag a couple people. I definitely want to tag Bailey from Bailey's Book Babble and Lori from Lori and Thomas. I know she can't drink right now, but you know what? Make Thomas drink for you. Drink for two, Thomas. You can do it. And then I would also like to tag literally anybody else that would like to do this tag. And tell me what you're drinking as well, because I would like to know. I'd like to get some ideas. But yeah, if you have any more suggestions for like tags that you would like for me to do, please tell me down in the comments below. I would love to hear them, and I'll probably end up filming them. So definitely stay up to date on my Instagram, Twitter, and Goodreads, because that's where I post the books that I'm reading and what I'm thinking. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye! This is some good stuff.